What's up everybody, Chef Glenn being back in the kitchen, and today I'm coming at you with another breakfast dish. I normally don't do copycat recipes, but there's a Cheesecake Factory dish that I just absolutely love. It's their Chilaquiles dish, and I'm gonna give it my all to give you my take on it here today. Okay, so there's a lot of layers to the dish. As you know, Cheesecake Factory does mostly everything they do fresh. It's one of the reasons why I like this dish. So I have to make a tomatillo salsa. I've got poblano pepper that I need to get roasted before we even get started on actually cooking the dish. So first thing I'm gonna do is get my tomatillas done. So if you've never worked with a tomatilla before, this is what tomatilla looks like. It's got this husk on it. It looks like little green tomatoes. And it's actually, they call it the Mexican tomato in husk. It's not a tomato, okay? If you feel it, it's a little tiny bit sticky, and the texture of this on the inside is a little sticky. The flavor of this is sweet, or I'm sorry, it's tangy. It's a little bit sour, a little bit sweet, not like a tomato at all, okay? And if you allow these to get ripe, they actually turn purple. They'll get dark. But most of the time they're used green, and they're used in salsas and various Mexican dishes. And I'm gonna make a green verde salsa. So I've got my broiler set to high. I've cleaned up my tomatilla, got a little sheet pan here. I've also got a couple of jalapenos. I'm gonna roast all of these and put all of this on the sheet pan. And I'm just gonna put this under the broiler. I wanna see some blisters. I wanna see it begin to darken a little bit, 5 to 7 minutes or so. Okay, so the tomatillo and the jalapeno are broiling, they're roasting. I've got one poblano pepper that I need to also roast, and I'm gonna use my open flame here. As you can see, the skin is beginning to blister, but I want to completely blister that side before I flip it. All right, so we got some broiling going on here. I'm gonna flip these over. Broil the other side for about 5 minutes or so. Char it all the way around. I got my Ziploc bag. Just gonna drop it in the bag. Seal it up and allow it to steam on itself. And then I'm gonna pull the skin out and have a beautifully roasted poblano pepper. All right, so moving right along with the tomatillo salsa, I want to start putting it together. I've got some cilantro, onion, squeeze some lime juice, and I've got my tomatillo and jalapeno. I'm just going to drop my tomatillo right into the food processor. And I'm gonna add my jalapeno in there. I'm just gonna pull that core right out of there. I want the seeds and everything that's in there. So I'm gonna pulse this. Add a little bit of salt. Texture's fantastic. Let me give it a taste. You should be. Oh, I wish there was a such thing as smell-o-vision. The roasted everything that's in here. Ooh, nice little kick. That's good. So I'm gonna put this in a container, sit it in the refrigerator. It's gonna benefit from a little bit of time in the refrigerator to thicken up a little bit. All right, so my poblano pepper has been in this bag steaming for quite some time. It's nice and cool now, so I can go ahead and get the skin peeled off of it. Okay, so I've got some pulled pork here. I'm gonna make a quick carnitas is what I'm gonna do. I've got some flour. And so this pulled pork is basically pulled pork that I had left over from having barbecue. There's no sauce on this. This is just actually smoked pulled pork. And it's, I didn't break it up exactly, it's actually in chunks. So I'm gonna flour this and I'm gonna fry it. And I'm gonna break this up into my chilaquiles, okay? So I'm gonna start by adding some oil, some canola oil to the pan. And I'm gonna take my pulled pork and I'm just gonna flour these chunks. Try to make sure they stay together into the oil. So I've got my pulled pork fried. The intent with this is to create little crispy bites in the chilaquiles. And so what I want to do is I want to break this up to little pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna pair my chilaquiles with the Rebuli Prosecco. Proseccos tend to be, well, they can range anywhere from sweet to dry and everywhere in between. Wow. Plenty of effervescent bubbles. I mean, plenty of foam on the top. Pale straw color. It's really pale. And if I'm looking at viscosity without even actually tasting it. I can look at the way the wine moves through the glass. There's a little bit of body to this. I'm thinking and I'm guessing that this is not a light bodied wine, that it's at least medium bodied. Wow. It's like a peach fizz or a citrus fizz, like a fruity fizzy type of thing. It's a little bit tight right now because it's so cold. I'm not getting a lot on the nose. That initial fizz thing though. Let's see what it tastes like. So it's not super sweet. It's fruity with a little hint of sweetness, and it's dry at the same time. It's really pleasant. Yeah. So it's like I enjoy this in the way that if you've ever had a flavored water, a flavored carbonated water that was really good. I mean, you know, but it was, if you're not really heavily into sweet things and you have a carbonated water with a little hint of fruit, that's sort of where this is going. I mean, it's obviously it's much more than that, but I think of that when I think of this. Oh yeah, so there's again, that fizz, that peach, the peach thing that I'm getting going on is it's there. Peach, little pear, little zippy lemon. It's really fruity. And it's starting to give way now. I'm getting more out of it. Not much more on the nose. But I think with all the flavors that I have going on with this, the chilaquiles, this might work. Let's get going. All right, so I'm ready to put my chilaquiles together. I'm gonna start in this pan with my salsa. I'm gonna put all of that in there, and I'm gonna bring this up to, I'm gonna get it hot. Bring it up to temperature. So salsa's heating up. To this pan, I'm gonna go ahead and add my butter. I need to save half of this salsa. Okay, so to this salsa, I'm gonna add some tortilla chips, and I'm gonna get about 9 or so tortilla chips, and I wanna break them up. I'm gonna turn the heat off on this. To this pan, as my butter starts to sizzle, I'm gonna go ahead and add my pork. Add my tomatoes. My green onions. Cilantro. My roasted poblano peppers. Give that a good stir. I'm gonna season this with black pepper and salt. All right, to my mixture with the pork, I'm gonna go ahead and add my beaten eggs. Sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on that. Turn the heat off. And my mixture of tortilla chips and salsa verde, I'm gonna go ahead and add to this fried egg mixture. So I've got tortilla chips in the bowl here. And I just want to kind of evenly distribute this. So I've got some more tortilla chips. Got my leftover salsa verde. Diced tomatoes. Green onions. And cilantro. All right, so my chilaquiles are done. I'm ready to give it a taste. Dig right in. Wow, that is delicious. So what I do in recreating this recipe, Cheesecake Factory uses roasted pork. I actually like using smoked pulled pork. It adds a nice little, obviously a smoky kick to it. It's delicious. Now you gotta see if it pairs. Wow. I thought it would pair, but man, sometimes with a pairing, you get these, as the two get together, they create something different. It's an easy, quick way to explain it. So let's go back in here. Oh. So what happens is I get a little of the chilaquiles and I get some of this Prosecco, and it makes the Prosecco savory. It just creates this savory thing. Wow, it's again the magic in the pairing. So I want to point out that when I make recommendations on wine, when we do these pairings, and for instance, the Rebuli Prosecco, I'm recommending Prosecco, not necessarily the specific label or specific producer of this specific wine. What I'm doing is I'm trying to point out the fact that Prosecco generally pairs well with this dish. So you don't have to go out and find this particular Prosecco. If you can, fantastic. But a good Prosecco somewhere within the realms of what this Prosecco is, if you just do a little research and look this up, this particular Prosecco is not super sweet. It's dry, lightly sweet, and very effervescent. So again, just about any Prosecco ought to work. And even some that are a little slightly sweeter than that should work with this. I'd like to thank you all for watching my video today. For those of you that have already subscribed, I'm deeply appreciative. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I regularly drop videos where I share my favorite recipes and I pair them with wines. I'm Chef Glenn B, and as always, eat well.